Welcome back. In this session on information systems operations, we are stepping out of the controlled data center and into the user's domain. We will explore two of the most pervasive challenges in modern IT governance: end-user computing, EUC, and shadow IT. These concepts represent the decentralized, often hidden, technology usage that drives business agility but introduces significant risk. Let's get started. We begin by setting the stage. Traditional IS operations focuses on the known environment, the servers we patch, the networks we monitor. But a massive portion of an organization's computing happens outside this perimeter. We are talking about two distinct but related phenomena. First, end-user computing, or EUC. This occurs when non-programmers build their own applications to solve problems. Think of a financial analyst building a massive macro-driven spreadsheet. Second is shadow IT. This is when users bypass IT entirely to acquire technology, like a marketing team swiping a credit card for a SaaS tool. As auditors and managers, we must understand that while these activities reduce IT backlogs, they create an invisible operational environment that often lacks standard controls. This diagram illustrates the separation of environments. On the left, we have central IT managing enterprise systems. On the right, business users are acting independently. They create end-user computing assets and acquire shadow IT. Notice how both user-driven paths feed directly into operational risk, the central diamond. Also, note the dotted line. Often, shadow IT creeps in because of integration gaps in the sanctioned enterprise systems. Let's deep dive into end-user computing. EUC isn't just typing a memo, it's when a user acts as a developer. The most common culprit is the spreadsheet. If a finance department uses a spreadsheet to calculate quarterly revenue, and that spreadsheet contains complex formulas and macros, it is an application. Why do users do this? Speed. They cannot wait 6 months for IT to build a report. However, because these are built by non-IT professionals, they usually lack the rigors of the System Development Lifecycle, SDLC. There is rarely documentation, no formal testing, and often no backup. If the creator leaves the company, the knowledge leaves with them, creating a key person dependency risk. Here is the landscape of EUC. At the center is the concept itself. Branching out to the left, we see the drivers why it happens. Users want speed and flexibility. On the right, we see the risks that auditors look for: no SDLC, data integrity issues, formula errors, and the key person dependency. Understanding these branches helps you identify where to look during an audit. We cannot ban EUC, so we must govern it. How? First, inventory. You must ask department heads, what spreadsheets are critical to your financial reporting? Second, classification. We don't audit the lunch menu spreadsheet. We audit the tax calculation spreadsheet. Once identified, we apply controls. We look for input controls. Are cells locked so formulas can't be accidentally overwritten? We look for version control. Are files stored on a shared drive with revision history or on a local desktop? Finally, documentation. Even a simple text file explaining how the macros work is better than nothing. As an auditor, you validate that these high-risk EUCs are treated like the software applications they truly are. This flowchart guides the governance process. We start by identifying the EUC. We immediately move to a risk assessment decision point. If it's low risk, a standard policy applies. If it is high risk, we move to the orange box. Apply controls. These controls branch out into specific actions: locking cells, enforcing version history, ensuring backups, and conducting peer reviews of the formulas. Moving from spreadsheets to shadow IT. This is the use of unapproved devices or services. In the past, this meant bringing a rogue Wi-Fi router to work. Today, it mostly means SaaS. A marketing manager signs up for a cloud-based CRM using a corporate credit card because the approved CRM is too hard to use. This creates the visibility gap. IT operations cannot patch a server they don't know about. They cannot offboard a user from a cloud service they don't control. BYOD falls here too. If an employee uses a personal tablet for sensitive work without mobile device management, MDM, that is shadow IT. The motivation is rarely malicious. It's usually efficiency. But efficiency without security is negligence. This sequence shows how shadow IT bypasses control. The user connects directly to the SaaS provider and signs up. Crucially, the user then takes corporate data and uploads it to the SaaS cloud. Note the corporate IT lane. IT is attempting to perform a backup or security audit, but the line to the data is broken, marked with an X. The data has left the perimeter without IT's knowledge. The risks of shadow IT go beyond just unpatched servers. The biggest risk is data leakage. If that marketing manager uploads customer lists to an unvetted cloud provider, and that provider gets hacked, your company is liable. This leads to compliance violations, especially with laws like GDPR that mandate where data can live. Operational risks include siloed data. The business cannot report on data it can't see. Security blind spots are critical. When that marketing manager is fired, IT revokes their Active Directory access, but the shadow IT account remains active because it doesn't use single sign-on, SSO. Finally, there is financial waste, paying retail prices for software instead of enterprise rates. We start with the shadow IT service at the top. This leads into three major risk factors: data leakage, compliance failure, and access control gaps. Follow the access control gap. It leads to the specific scenario where a terminated employee retains access. Both leakage and compliance failure lead to the ultimate impact at the bottom: regulatory fines. This visualizes the financial and legal consequences. A critical modern subset of shadow IT is bring your own AI. Employees are using tools like ChatGPT to summarize meetings or write code. The risk? They are pasting sensitive corporate data into a public model. As noted in the sources, this data can become part of the model's training set, potentially exposing trade secrets to the world. There is also the risk of hallucination, the AI giving wrong answers that are accepted as fact. Governance requires a specific AI acceptable use policy. Auditors should verify if the organization blocks known AI domains or provides a sanctioned, private instance for employees to use safely. This state diagram compares two paths. In the top path, the employee puts data into a public AI, unsanctioned. This leads to model training and eventually data exposure when a competitor queries that model. In the bottom path, the employee uses a sanctioned private AI. This leads to secure output and a safe conclusion. Governance attempts to force users onto the bottom path. How do we govern this? We cannot just say no to everything. First, we must detect. We analyze firewall logs for traffic to unknown cloud services. We analyze expense reports for software subscriptions. Once detected, we have three choices. 1. Block it. Prevent access. 2. Sanction it. Assess the vendor, sign a BAA DPA, and integrate it with SSO. 3. Replace it. Give the user a better tool. The most mature organizations use the sanction/manage approach. They recognize the user has a business need and help them meet it securely. This turns shadow IT into managed IT. The decision tree starts when shadow IT is detected. We perform a security assessment. If it is high risk, left branch, we block access and offer an alternative to maintain user satisfaction. If it is low risk and useful, right branch, we sanction it. This involves integrating SSO and reviewing the contract, which also leads to user satisfaction. This shows that security and user needs can coexist. To wrap up, here is your audit checklist. Don't just look at the servers. Look at the policies. Do they mention spreadsheets and cloud apps? Test the controls. Go find a critical financial spreadsheet and try to break the formula. If you can, the control failed. Analyze detection methods. Is IT looking at expense reports? Finally, check the culture. Shadow IT is a symptom of a rigid IT department. As an auditor, finding shadow IT often helps you recommend improvements not just in security, but in IT service delivery itself. Thank you for your time. Our final diagram is the audit workflow. We start with scope, move to policy review, then check the EUC inventory. We physically test spreadsheet integrity. Then we shift to shadow IT discovery, specifically analyzing expense reports. All of these findings feed into the final report. Following this linear path ensures a comprehensive review of the hidden IT environment.